Hey, me Matt here, and it's time change season. Speaking of time for a change, WrestleMania 31, California. It was another outdoor event, which I thought was cool. Sponsored by Pepsi. A lot of things happened that I thought were amazing. Also, seeing Ronda Rousey in the crowd, you know, also, being a fan of MMA, I thought, this is cool. So now I get to see two worlds. And Ronda Rousey is actually a pro wrestling fan, so it was awesome for her, and she was having a blast. Um, we'll get to that eventually in this review, but let's start. So we had a pre-show. Well, the first match, Tyson Kidd and Cesaro, the WWE Tag Team Champions, defeated the New Day, which debuted, and they were heels. And at this point was Big E and Kofi Kingston with Xavier Woods, Los Matadores, of course, Diego and Fernando, and the Usos, Jimmy and Jey with Naomi. Yes, the New Day made their debut. It was interesting just to see all three of these guys do this whole positivity, and it almost looked like a reverend, old school evangelist type thing. Well, the vignettes look like it anyways. But yeah, and Kofi Kingston, for the first time ever, being a heel. They'd eventually progress, but this was pretty cool. And then, of course, you got Tyson Kidd and Cesaro. Tyson Kidd had that character, that storyline where he was being a jerk. And probably not far off from his thing with Total Divas. And then, of course, you get the Los Matadores, the Colognes, the Puerto Rican Matadors. And then the Usos, who changed over the years. Pretty good tag team, I think. But of course, Tyson Kidd and Cesaro won. Then we had Big Show, who won the 30-man battle royal for the Andre the Giant Memorial Trophy. I said yesterday that Big Show won, but it actually was Cesaro who eliminated Big Show last. So this year it was Big Show. And again, I have no idea why they have a trophy except for prestige and, in memory of a legend. But I'm still waiting for a Big Show to get a WWE title push, for his last run. It'll probably never happen. You saw what happened with the Intercontinental Championship last year. Segue, speaking of which, we get the ladder match. A 7-man ladder match for the Intercontinental Championship. You got Bad News Wade Barrett, who I miss, the Intercontinental Champion, Dolph Ziggler, Stardust, Luke Harper, R-Truth, and Dean Ambrose. And Daniel Bryan. Did I mention him already? Cody Rhodes is a free agent now. He's been, last year alone, he finished his stint with WWE. TNA first, then he went to Ring of Honor, then he went to New Japan. So, not only is he the American Nightmare, but he is also part of the Bullet Club and whatnot. And I can understand why. I mean, the Stardust gimmick was just something to have him team with his brother, Dustin, or Gold Dust as everyone knows him. I just think it went too far, and it became his own character. I thought that was crap. I don't know who thought it was a good idea. But after a while, I thought it was crap. So, no wonder he left under his own power. It sucks. But now he's on TNA with his wife Brandy. And Ring of Honor. Now, he was a face when he was on TNA. Then he went to Ring of Honor and became a heel. Now he's back on TNA and he's a heel again. Or a heel. Well, whatever. But, anyways, Daniel Bryan became the new and first Intercontinental Champion. Like, for the first time. And you know, it's a shame because, and I'll get to next year, which was also fucking disappointing. You get a guy who has been WWE Champion, has been World Champion, and you bring him back to the mid-card championship circle. Okay, so that's fine. Guy gets the Intercontinental Champion, has a match with somebody. I don't know how sloppy it was. It didn't look that bad. But then Bryan hurts himself. Has to pass up the Intercontinental Championship. Unless that was at WrestleMania. In fact, it probably was. I can't honestly remember. I just know he had to pass it off in a short time. And it really makes me fucking sick to my stomach. Because there you go again. You take the smaller guy and you just go, oh, I'm just going to give you just a little taste of success. And then we're just going to take it away from you. Because that's what we do. We're a fucking non-opportune, whatever you want to call it. I thought it was bullshit. And the fact that he won last year, or whatever, and winning the main event spot and the championship, and now you bring him to the mid-card. Not only that, but you have him surrender the title. So he wasn't Intercontinental Champion for very long, but as you see next year, it's better than what it was, right? Yeah. It doesn't make sense to me, and I guess it never will. So that was the kickoff to WrestleMania 31, the pay-per-view. And then we get Randy Orton versus Seth Rollins with JB Noble and Joey Mercury in Seth's corner. I obviously hated the Authority. I hated the way 2014 ended with John Cena and Seth Rollins. This is bad acting in itself. No, bring back the Authority. All right, I bring it back the Authority. It's like, bring back the Authority. I can't remember whose arm that Seth Rollins was gonna break. I can't remember, but it was stupid. And this storyline was stupid, you know. Seth Rollins, you know, as a heel is fine, but this whole Authority shit was not. It was just, there's really nothing more I could say about it. It was just retarded. Anyways, and then we have, you know, disqualification match with Triple H, and for the first time ever stepping on WWE soil in his first WrestleMania, Sting. So, we talked about the invasion angle, and obviously there's a lot of feelings that your main characters from WCW did not go into the invasion angle. Let's go Bill Goldberg or NWO or hell, even Sting. Now, Sting did a thing. He did an interview with JBL. And he says, oh, well, the reason why I didn't go to WWF at the time was the fact that I knew what they were doing with Frater. I knew what they were doing with Scott Steiner. I knew what they were doing with Goldberg. So I didn't want to be in that company. And to his credit, yeah, you know what? It's true. I think that was probably the right move, but at the same time, it probably wouldn't have hurt Sting to make the invasion angle. But it is what it is. But, you know, this was, to me, a shitty way to debut because you have Triple H go over. Yes, he won't even let Sting go over. This was all big. Let's finish up the storyline that was already finished to stick in to WCW. The only cool part was D-Generation X coming out and NWO coming out and having the showdown. Hogan and Nash and the New Age Outlaws with X-Pac. I think that's cool. You know, that was probably the only good highlight, but the match ended when Triple H hit Sting with the sledgehammer when the referee wasn't looking. Went for the pedigree and that was it. And then they shake hands in the middle of the ring afterwards. It doesn't make any sense. I think that they should have had a rematch at some point. But as it was, you know, Sting took on Seth Rollins and got injured and had to retire. And who knows if he ever is going to step back. He said he's not going to, but who knows if he ever will. It kind of is a sad thing to say, but, you know, there's no chance of Sting versus Undertaker. You know, shit. There's gonna be no chance of Undertaker Goldberg like I've wanted for the past fucking 12 years. Then we get a tag team women's match. AJ Lee and Paige defeating the Bellas by submission. Oh yeah, the Black Widow. You know, the fact is, so AJ and Paige had this stupid storyline. It was just, you know, it's one thing for a wrestler to go psycho and whatever, and Mickie James played a good psycho character, but the thing is, you know, get Paige, who was playing mind games with AJ, whatever, that's fine. But when you start skipping down the ring like AJ, first of all, AJ skipping, that was something that just didn't really happen. You have to understand that that's her thing. And then you had Paige do it. So, anyways, AJ left. And then came back a year before. You know, he shit and liked the taste of it. 2 years before, I should say. And, finally, they teamed together, and they faced the Bellas, and there you go. This was a good match. I really, like I said, had a crush on AJ, probably still do. You know, she's very good looking, but, yeah. And the Bella twins. And then, you know what happened to them from there, they're still going strong. And, well, I mean, Nikki still wrestles, and Bree's pregnant, so, and it's all good. And then you get the United States Championship match, Rusev versus John Cena. Now, Rusev was a United States champion for a long time, a few weeks, maybe a month. He went through, and I don't know if I thought it was funny, but, I mean, he went through Mark Henry, he went through Jack Swagger, I even think he went through Sergeant Slaughter at one point. All these American patriots, if you will, you know. Kind of interesting how you make the Americans look weak for the Russian, especially Mark Henry, especially Big Show. So who do we get to face Rusev at WrestleMania? Well, Super Cena. And yeah, this is exactly how I figured. John Cena, the new United States Champion. You know, that to me. So you could have the big guys, the big, muscle guys, and the world's strongest man lose to him, but John Cena, well, whatever. Guy's been popular for a fucking long time. Gets the championship, whatever. It is what it is. John Cena, once again, United States Champion. We get to the Face of Fear versus the Phenom. The new Face of Fear versus the Phenom. I don't know. I don't remember Undertaker ever calling himself the Face of Fear. But, anyway, so we all know the history. Last year, Undertaker lost the streak. So, it's no longer in effect. So, he came back after Bray Wyatt had challenged him to a match, calling himself the new Face of Fear. Now, I'm a huge fan of Bray Wyatt. One of my new modern day favorite wrestlers, and whether he jobs a lot or not. And the fact of the matter is, I don't know why he does. I think it sucks. I mean, he hasn't really won a WrestleMania, and it just makes me sick. So they did put the WWE title on him at Elimination Chamber, and really, he should have waited. It should have been John Cena versus Randy Orton, and I know that I'm not the only one that thinks that. But anyway, so Undertaker wins, of course. So he lost last year and lost the streak just so he could win. So that probably makes it 22-1 if the streak still stood, which it doesn't. Anyway, so we get a segment of the co-host of WrestleMania, The Rock, coming out, and then he introduces Ronda Rousey. Now, I'm going to mention this because there's something that I have to get off my chest. So, Ronda Rousey gets introduced by The Rock. She comes out. This is before, actually, no, this is after Triple H and Stephanie come out, and they start talking to The Rock, and Rock says something offensive, of course, and then Stephanie slaps him across the face. So naturally, he brings out Ronda Rousey, who's in the crowd, and then they square off. Now, to me, this would have been a cool opportunity to say WrestleMania 32. The Rock and Ronda Rousey versus Triple H and Stephanie McMahon Helmsley. No, that never happened. And it's a waste of time. Because I really would have wanted to see that. That would have made sense. And this year, we get John Cena and Nikki Bella versus The Miz and Maurice. The real Eminem. But the fact of the matter is, why did we have to just throw away The Rock and Ronda Rousey versus Triple H and Stephanie? It doesn't make sense because it would have been awesome. Hell, I said it before, it would have been awesome if The Rock and Triple H went at it at WrestleMania. They never really faced each other at WrestleMania one-on-one. One-on-one. Not the WrestleMania 2000. But it is what it is. That's just, I don't have any words to describe how frustrating that is when you get teased with something like that and it just doesn't go through. But, this was an interesting main event. So we have Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar. Roman Reigns won the Royal Rumble, and it's funny because the year before, Batista won the Royal Rumble. Batista making his return after 4 years. And, yeah, you know, winning the Royal Rumble, people boo him, call him Bootista. He wore a blue outfit, so people called it Blue-tista. It's just kind of like, okay, well, that's dumb. You know, I think there's a lot of shit that was unfortunate, but there it is. Roman Reigns won this year. He was expected to win the year before. So, naturally, people didn't like that decision either. Fans are stupid. Like, they don't get it. Some of them, anyways. So, anyhow, it was Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns. And Roman Reigns is beating the shit out of Brock Lesnar is beating the shit out of Roman Reigns, and Roman Reigns is laughing his ass off, thinking it's funny, which I don't think anyone's ever really seen a wrestler just get his ass handed to him, and he laughs it off. Maybe it's just a small thing, but I don't know. I've never seen that before. Anyways, it was a good match, you know, and they really just destroyed each other. So they're lying on the mat, and who should come out but Money in the Bank winner from a few months ago, Seth Rollins. This is the yeah. So he demands that the referee lets him into the match. And then he goes for Roman Reigns. Or no, he went for Brock Lesnar. And then pins him 1, 2, 3, becoming the new WWE Champion. What a twist. Because now, you not only had a pretty good match with Lesnar and Reigns, but you had the surprise opponent in Seth Rollins, who nobody would ever think would have cashed in at the main event of WrestleMania, but there you go. Finally, that happened. And then they got the new WWE Championship. So, this was an interesting WrestleMania. I say that a lot, don't I? But it was pretty fun. Just because it was outdoors, just because you had a new Intercontinental Champion who wasn't Intercontinental Champion before, despite the fact that it was very short reign. You know, this was cool. And, of course, Ronda Rousey coming out, and to me, teasing the fact that they would have had Rock and Ronda versus Triple H and Stephanie. But, yeah, so this was cool, you know, and I think we have one more left. So, let's talk to you later. Bye.